Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sports preview of England's campaign in the SheBelieves Cup taking place over the next few weeks, Jamie, in the USA.
Aye. I wish they would be in a different country for a change because they keep getting all these
It's
home
not like
matches.
they made the tournament, is it?
Yeah, they keep getting home matches.
Yes.
Go international.
Yes, it's the 4th annual edition of the SheBelieves Cup. Of course, USA holding the tournament. What's the words I'm looking for?
Holders?
The most. Yeah, the current holders, shall we
Most
say.
decorated?
And the most decorated, yes. Good lad. Always there to save the day, like David De Gea.
Jamie saves. Jam saves.
Maybe.
Hashtag it.
We'll
make it
wait
trend.
to see how it goes. But for England, second last year, not too bad of a performance to them.
Yeah.
Beating out France and Germany for
Did
the
we
first
beat
time.
USA last year? Was it the year before?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, it was a draw. So no, we haven't beaten you. No, ignore me.
But yeah, this is a big tournament really for England's women's team. Phil Neville will use this tournament as a chance to assess his squad and to see who to take for the World Cup in the summer in France. But you know, he's coming into this tournament now with a very strong attack. And of course, the forever present Barcelona striker Tony Dungan, who's not having the best of times at Barcelona, but is doing okay. But Nikita Paris is looking absolutely fantastic at Manchester City.
I think this is when it's really good for someone like Phil Neville to have the problem of who do I start, because that's what you want.
You also got Frank Kirby. Now she's starting on the bench sometimes for Chelsea, but we know what she can do.
Oh yeah, I mean, but what's also good is that apart from Nikita Paris, you've got lots of experienced World Cup players there who know what it's like to go and get very far in a major tournament and play the maximum amount of games in that month-long tournament. 7 games, and I think the way I see it is that we are not the favourites to win the World Cup, but we've got a bloody good chance, and I think Phil Neville can lead them. I think what's been good about Phil Neville is he hasn't really challenged or changed anything much. It's just that he's guiding them, and he knows the squad can do it. When we had Mr. Sampson doing it before, and Mark Sampson, he was, he crafted that team, he made that team who they were, and I think with Phil Neville, it's more, we don't really need to change that much, just sadly what happened behind the scenes with this whole racist stuff that happened. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it's still the same team, just a different manager. So I think with the SheBelieves Cup as well, it's a good tournament in terms of a warm-up for this. It's kind of like the Confederations Cup, but only with 4 teams maybe, where we can kind of get a bit of a taste of what to expect in the summer. But yet again, conditions will be very different. USA, I don't know what the weather's like in Nashville and all that this time of year. I'd imagine it's quite nice and warm, but winter months in the USA, so it'll be interesting. But I think, this is the first time the SheBelieves Cup has been on the same year as a World Cup year. So I think this is what's really interesting. I said to you before we did this video, I don't know how much I'm really that fussed about the SheBelieves Cup as a football fan, but it'll be just interesting to see how England get on.
Now we've got Jill Scott. She's missing. She's out of action for this tournament. Not fit enough to go. How big of an absence is that going to be for this England team?
I'm not too worried, because I think with Jill Scott, I would rather have her at the World Cup than risk her at the SheBelieves Cup, because I think she was eligible to play. Yeah. But I think it would have been most likely her sitting on the bench and travelling to the US when you just think sit at home, rest and all that.
Get fit enough to get ready to go. Yeah.
And trip to the US means, what does it mean?
Party.
No. As well as that. What's it called when you get tired from flying?
Jet lag.
Jet lag. That could bring into effect, because Man City at the moment are still in the Women's FA Cup. They just won the Continental Cup, and they could go on to win the league. So there's a lot of demand for her in the club in club football at the moment until she flies out to France. So I can understand the FA and England saying that she's got to stay at home and not worry too much, and that's where priorities are this year.
Yeah, with the England squad as well, Stephanie Houghton and Leah Wilson in the back, very strong defence and one that can be relied upon. But Millie Bright will be missing out of action with the injury. Do you have any concern with this defence at all? Approaching the tournament, do you think?
In terms of, I can only say what I saw from qualifying, and not really. I think.
Let's include the goalkeepers in that as well, because the City goalkeeper Barnsley.
This will be a 3rd World Cup now, I think, because I remember her from the 2011 World Cup, and then obviously she did 2015. So again, it's another goalkeeper where you can't question her experience. She's been there, but I've always found with Bardsey, she's a bit shaky, and she's never convinced me the most. But England have stuck with her, and she is doing okay. She's actually American herself.
Oh, really?
And then she went to England. But I'm not too concerned. When you talk about the defence, though, Steph Houghton is an absolute fantastic leader, and I think no matter what, if you have problems with defence and it's not the best, then people like her is the ones that will carry them through and get them past the finish line. And I think she can do that again this time. She's proven herself to be one of the known faces of English football, not just because of what she did at the World Cup, but also taking her club team to win every trophy on offer in club football, apart from the Women's Champions League. That's the only thing that's missing for her in terms of her club career, and then obviously the Women's World Cup. So I don't think there's any real concerns at the back for Manchester City. For England, what am I saying?
So we've got Brazil, USA and Japan as well in this tournament. Brazil, their first appearance, but of course they got the legend that is
yes,
Marta.
Oh, good old Marta. She's still winning things for fun. Like she is like the Messi or Ronaldo of women's football, where she's just achieving things year in, year out. She is a fantastic player. She's been in the women's game for over 10 years. She's just nailing it still. I remember her in the 2011 World Cup where they lost to USA in I think it was the quarterfinals, and it was a last-minute equaliser in extra time for it to go to penalties from Wambach, and I thought Brazil had won that, and I thought, is this where Brazil had put that statement out there, even though you'd think in terms of their women's team they would be the best in the world? No, the USA in the last few years will question that, but yeah. I think for me Brazil haven't recovered from that, and that was 8 years ago.
Yeah, England have actually only played against Brazil once in their history.
When was it?
1-0 victory in 2012.
You see it. I don't even remember that. So it just shows how often we've played them, which is just that one time. But was that in the? That no, it wouldn't have been in the Olympics, would it? No.
No. They did well in the Olympics. Actually, they finished in fourth in the Olympics. I think they did.
Yeah. But I think with Brazil, it's good to see them in the tournament. I think they are one of the dark horses to win the Women's World Cup, but I don't think they will win it.
The USA, though, will be one of the favourites to win the World Cup. 2 times winners of this SheBelieves tournament as well.
God, you think you would win 3 out of 3?
Carly Lloyd and Alex Morgan, the icons really of
fantastic
not only
players.
USA women's football, but of women's football as a whole. Going to be a tough job for England to stop those two in there.
Yes. But USA.
I thought that was your answer then. Yes, it definitely is.
USA haven't been that good. I watched them against France in January. I didn't watch it there. I was watching it on the TV, and it was an international friendly. I know it's only a friendly, and people shouldn't get so worked up on it. But I thought, well, no, hang on. This is in France. The match took place in France. This is one of the stadiums that will be used for the World Cup. You're up against a France team that are hosting it, in which they will look at the men's team and think, they could actually put France women's football on the map finally, because women's football in Europe is the best when it comes from France, when it comes to the clubs. Lyon are one of the best teams in the world, and they win Women's Champions Leagues. I was there in 2017 when Alex Morgan, funny enough, was in that squad.
Yeah, she was on loan, wasn't she?
She was on loan, yeah. And I'm sure that got quite a bit of experience of European football for a change, but they got absolutely battered that night, USA. Like, Alex Morgan came on for USA with not much time left, and I think Carly Lloyd played the whole game, and I was thinking, where's Carly Lloyd in this game? The whole USA, I think they lost 3-1, and I've never seen USA look so down and out, and I know it was only a friendly, but the way I looked at it, I thought they carry on like this, they're in huge trouble. I think they're still the favourites to win the World Cup, but they've got to be careful.
Last one, Japan, first appearance in this tournament as well, but the key point that Phil Neville will take away from this game, it's the last one's going to be played as well for England in this tournament, is of course Japan share the same group as England in the Women's World Cup.
Yeah, we got a tough group.
Yeah.
We've got Scotland in there as well. It doesn't matter how, because they're still trying to put Scotland on the map for women's football. I think this is their first World Cup. I might be wrong.
Do you think this Japan game then could be the biggest indication as to how well England could do in this World Cup coming up?
Well, Japan have had a problem. Last year they were up against 7 of the top 10 ranked teams, and they had 20 matches overall in 2018 from what I can remember, and Japan could only beat one of them
right
once. out of the 7 times. Japan are not like they were 8 years ago. Japan were not, in my eyes, they weren't very good at the Women's World Cup 4 years ago.
They weren't too bad. They got to the
They were very lucky.
Finals, didn't they?
No, they made the final.
Oh,
they were very lucky though. Like they beat us on the last minute because of an own goal from Laura Bassett, which was really, it was so typical of England though. Because if we go out of a tournament, it has to be the most dramatic way of it happening. And we gave them a really good game. I thought we deserved to win, but sadly not. But what happened in the final? They got absolutely obliterated.
Smashed.
Exactly.
That goal from range just.
I'm not saying we would have won that final, but I think we would have given them a better game. So the way I look at Japan, they're still always going to be up there. You know, they are one of those countries that you can't just forget about, and they'll always be one of the top contenders. But I don't think they're going to have a very good World Cup, and I think it would be really interesting how they do against us. Because if we could get a win from that, then I think Phil Neville can say, right, that's revenge for what happened at the World Cup in 2015. Now let's prove it and beat these other big teams come the World Cup final.
How do you think England will do in this tournament? Do you think they could potentially win it then?
I think they could. Again, it'd be one of those like the men's team will win matches against a big team when it doesn't matter though. So it's like this is just a warm up. But look, if it helps them feel a lot more confident come the summer, then you know at least Phil Neville can address it and say, look, we've beaten these lot before, we could do it now.
So let us know how you think England's women's team will do at the SheBelieves Cup. It's not really a World Cup competition, but
we've got nations from different continents, I guess.
Yeah. Need to expand from more
South America,
teams.
North America,
get some African teams
Asia
in there as well, and there'll be a fantastic tournament for women's football fans to salivate over whilst they're waiting for another World Cup tournament. But what are your predictions for the SheBelieves World Cup for England? How well can they do in the tournament? Let us know in the comment section below the video. Don't forget to like it, subscribe for more Let's Talk Sport content. We'll see you all very soon.